The next objective is to be able to search a list box for what we need. So notice how I changed this to find item, and right now I have 5 girls' names. Well, 4 girls' names and the name of a time of day. So I don't know, I just was going with anything that rhymed with E thing. So I'm going to have to also change this to say find items or find item. And I deleted the code from the button, or if I haven't, I will here in a second. There we go. And we're going to change the name to find button. So what we have to do is we first have to control how we move up and down the list box. So we first have to understand this. So I'm going to run it again. Abby right now is at position 0 in the list box. The list box moves, even though there's 5 listings, the numbers that they identify with, they're called their index numbers, are 0 through 4. Because in the computer's mind, it always starts at 0 when trying to count. Because otherwise it would mess up, especially if you understand different binary and storage mechanisms, which I'm not going to get into, but the storage needs to start at 0 instead of 1. So where we're used to counting, the computer's used to counting 1 below. So everything we do with a list box, this Abby is going to be in the 0 position. Becky's in 1, Carly's in 2, Debbie's in 3, Early's in 4. So what we need to do is we're going to make this where when we type in a name, it either can find it or it can't. So the first thing we actually need to do is control what is called the selected index for the program to do the proper comparison. So I'm going to create a few variables here, and you can see that this created the names. I'm going to do item is string, we'll call it search a string now. We'll go dim counter as integer because it's going to count how we're progressing. It's going to go dim range as integer because we're going to assign the items.count to the range so it knows where to go. And we're going to leave it at that. We'll leave it at those 3 variables. We can do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take range and make it equal the, I'm going to change range to amount. I'm going to change range to amount. So we're going to have amount be typed in the proper spot and say that amount is equal to the amount of people in the list box. So name of list box items.count. So that is what it starts out as. We're going to go ahead and set counter equal to 0 because if we don't, then it's going to skip over Abby, who is in that 0 position right now. Then the third thing we need to do is, just like we did before, bring in the information. Search equals add item text box, which should be fine, but that's fine, dot text. So let's review what we did here. We got the amount from the count feature for the list box, so it's going to tell us that we have 5 items when it's running. We set our counter equal to 0 so it can start at the very beginning, searching with Abby. And then search equals add items text box dot text. That is what we're trying to search. Now remember with strings, it's very literal, so we're not going to do to upper to lower right now for conversion purposes, but we could do that. And if we were building this for real, we would. So we're going to need to make the counter control which index this is clicked on. So I'm going to show you again. The counter will start off here at 0. It'll search, okay, is Abby the name over here? If it is, program stops. If not, then a counter increases, moving the selected index to Becky. Checks. If not, then the Carly, then the Debbie, and so forth. So this is what we need to do. And this is where it gets a little tricky. We're going to do this in a do-while loop, because we're going to go until counter is no longer less than the amount. Because the amount is going to be 5. The maximum number we can get to is 4. So once the numbers are equal to each other, there's no sense in searching because the search is over. So do while counter is less than amount. And one thing we do know that we want to have happen, since we're searching each individual one, is we want counter at the end to increase by 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put that code in there right now. And then that takes care of the loop itself. Now we just need to control the rest of the program. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tell the list box, which is called name of list box, dot. I'm going to go down here to the S's. We're going to choose selected index, meaning that is the index that is selected. We want it to start at 0, which is what counter is equal to. Counter will control which index is selected. From there, now we just need to compare the two items. So this is a different kind of comparison. This is known as string comparison. It goes like this. If search, which is holding our string, dot equals, instead of using the equal sign, we use dot equals to do a literal comparison between this string that we had typed in and the string that's in our list box. And what we're going to use instead of assigning the string to a different variable that we're searching, we're going to use name of list box dot selected item. So it's going to search that. So if search dot equals, the search is the name of list box dot selected item, then we need to make another label. Well, we'll use label 3 here. We'll use label 3 dot text equals you found her, because they're all girls. And then take a look. If we find them in her or whoever we're looking for in the first couple searches, do we want this loop to continue? The answer is no, because we found what we're looking for. So we're going to add, and I forgot, it's not label 3. What's the name of this one? Count label. Breaking my style here, Visual Basic. Count label dot text equals you found her. Then we also want to exit the loop because we found what we're looking for. So we're going to say exit do. That will skip from here to whatever is below the loop and continue on with the program. So exit do. Then if we don't find the person, then we're going to make count label dot text equals no luck. This should work. Let's give it a shot. So 5 items. I'm first going to search for Becky. And we were able to find Becky. So it went, looked at Abby, said, okay, no, you're not Becky. But Becky matches Becky. Keep in mind we did not do a literal conversion, so if we mess up anywhere, even with like a lowercase b, we're not going to find Becky even though she's right there. Notice how also it stops the index where we found it. That is what the exit do is doing in that instance. So we practiced selecting the index that we wanted to highlight by controlling the list box, and in our search, typing it in and being able to find what we're looking for with the list box. And that there is how you do it.